Sorry about the inconvenience. I want to switch it up for the reading of the program. Got Miss Sims coming up.
Yeah, let's gather around the fence. We got a mask on, so yeah, we don't have to be so strict with social distances when we got the mask. When we got a mask on, we don't have to be. All right. That dad said we gonna sing. Y'all start. I'm right at you. Yes, ma'am. You got the snaps on there. He don't know how to raise it. You have to hold it. Doc, you want me to help you to get it lined up so you raise it?
Yes,
You a
sir.
veteran.
Yes, sir.
You recognize I'm a veteran?
Yes,
I
sir.
think you got the youngest one we got here. Who's the youngest veteran? No, you ain't. So you the oldest veteran we got here. You the youngest.
Welcome. What's up, V? What's up, Pat? Here at the Mound Bayou Recon League. Getting ready to raise the flag for Juneteenth.
American flag here.
What you doing with it? Let him do, let the veteran do what you doing.
God.
Veteran ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't bring enough equipment to do it. You don't really have to raise it if you don't want to. What you want to go get the other flag?
No, it was supposed to touch the ground.
Go get the other flag first?
Go get our short flag, the one we use. Go get the quarter.
I hope all y'all enjoy this. I say them military for 26 years and never raised a flag once.
Hey, Bob. How you doing?
Are you serious?
No. You ready for the raising of the Juneteenth flag? What's up, Nick?
All I'm saying, if that went up there like that, y'all want to take it down, that could have went up there like that.
But no, you got to look at how the back of it is tied.
Oh, the back of the tie together.
Yeah, you ain't seen the whole deal.
You gonna use the left one?
Sorry for the inconvenience. Down here in the great state of Mississippi, celebrating Juneteenth, getting ready to raise the flag and let the historian come and read. Sorry for the inconvenience. What's up, financial angel? Yeah, it is, man. You see old Green Maze V. You see Elta Kane. People we went to school with. Hey, Miss Johnson. Sorry for the inconvenience. Getting ready to raise the flag, the Juneteenth flag. We got to use the portable one. So we're just here for the raising of the Mound, Bayou, Mississippi. Definitely. What's up, Doc?
At this time, the pop movement will move forward with their 5th annual Juneteenth flag race. We're gathered here today in Mount Bayou, Mississippi, the historical Mount Bayou, Mississippi, with the pop movement, and as the director of Juneteenth for the state of Mississippi, I'm honored once again to stand in this position as we, at this time, recognize our emancipation as a people. 1865 was when Galveston, Texas finally got the news that they had been freed 2.5 years later. At this time, we're going to sing the
The Black National
Anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening sky, till victory is won. Sing a song full of faith and love. Sing a song full of the thing that the dark past has taught us, facing the
from the Black National Anthem.
For those, the American anthem, the first anthem, the protocol is the American anthem when you raise the American flag. Today, the American flag had already been raised. The flag that's being raised and highly being raised at this time is our one and only, our own Dr. Evans. I don't know how many wars he done fought, but Dr. Evans, will you tell us on how many?
You know, it would be nice if everybody was out here.
Would y'all come around, please? In respect to our veteran who fought on many fronts for our freedom.
We are celebrating Juneteenth.
Yes.
Juneteenth is very dear to us. But I want each one of you to understand something. This is the most dangerous spot that the black woman and the black man and black children can stand on. Is the United States of America.
Yes.
We are dying at a very rapid rate. And a lot of us behave as this is celebration time. It's black family nation building time. And I said black family nation. All of us need to come together. And if you have not seen enough evidence in the last 2 months of why we need to come together, I need to drop this flag and get in my car and go about my business. Juneteenth has to mean something. When you can get a 93-year-old woman out here running all over the country like she's 35 years old.
Yes.
Promoting Juneteenth to become a national holiday. Some of us right now are probably sitting at home drinking beer and looking at the TV. Right where you would be when death come to your door and knock on you. Because it's coming. You're going out the same way you came in. You're going out black whether you want to be or not.
Yes, yes.
And I don't say that in a derogatory tone. We have got to make this nation safe for every living human being in its population.
Yes.
It has to be made safe. This nation was made great when the last bucket of cement was poured into the foundation under this nation, and when that cement was set and they said this is a wrap, it was the slaves that made it a wrap. It was the slaves that built the foundation. It was the slaves that made it great. No one man can make America great. It's already been great. No one man can steal the credit for making America great. It's already been made great. Now, there's another problem that we all face. We have to make America safe for every living human being on this country.
Yes.
So, our poor people buried in this soil. The American soil has done nothing to the black man or the black woman or the black child. This soil is holy to us because it's the graves of those that you have hung. That Lady Day called strange fruit.
My Lord.
And you called all of your people in when you did it. You brought your babies in your arms. And you stood up and gloated like some wild animals
Look out.
while we were hanging on your trees.
My Lord.
So I tell you this. We are going to take the leadership of making this country a safe country. The black man, the black woman, and the black child, the black family is going to take the leadership because we don't trust in one another to take the leadership. We are going to ask the Democratic Party and the Republican Party to come up with some big money. reparation. I don't want nobody to get it twisted.
All right.
I'm talking about intent money, I call it. What do you intend to do for me when you get into office? If you need my vote, put up some billions of dollars on each side. Each one of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, we want billions of dollars.
Yes.
We want in every state treasury across the southern states to have $1 billion in their treasury to start right now, today, building our future. And we don't need no help. What we need is resources. I don't call that help. I call that intent money.
Intent.
If you want my vote, if you need my vote, what are you willing to put up with my vote?
All right.
Now get this understood. Our sitting president, and he is our president, has the right to campaign to get the black vote. Joe Biden also has the right to campaign to get the black vote. But I'm going to tell you something funny about that black vote. That black vote belongs to the black families. No politician or nobody else can speak for the black vote. The black families will speak for their own vote when they go to the polls. I would be stupid to try to tell the black family who to vote for, and I would not dare try, because you are really insulting a first-class citizen whenever you tell him who to vote for.
All right.
We are first-class citizens.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And we're going to show you.
First class.
Yes, we're going to show. We're going to show you. And that's exactly what we are. And we're also going to tell all of you billionaires that made your billions because of the foundation that this nation set on, and that's where you made it.
All right.
And when you put that money aside into our hands, it will probably come back to you anyway, and you will be richer. Because we got to buy the materials from you. We got to buy the land back that you stole from us in order to build them.
All right now.
So I don't have time to sit up here, stand up here, brother, and hold this flag and tell you about the war zones that I was in when my life was stretched. When I looked around, I didn't see none of y'all. It was me.
All right, dog.
I was the one that was sick.
All right.
And when I lost my mind in Vietnam, and I asked God, I was a Catholic. I got on my knees and went through an interpreter when I prayed. They called him a priest.
Wow.
And I told him my problem. I was about to lose my mind in Vietnam because they were blowing up babies strapped to their mama's back out in the rice paddy, planting rice. Didn't know nothing about their government, our government. Enough of just trying to do what God intended for them to do.
Yes, yes.
Make a living to feed their families.
All right.
And get blown completely apart. And your baby too. And I just couldn't stand that because I had a wife and babies back in the States. How would I feel if somebody was in there blowing them up while I'm over there trying to help other people straighten their government out? I'm getting a sign, y'all. I always, when they put a camera in my face and tell me I can talk, I'm standing
Pass the mic down.
the one thing over my head is quiet. This lady just sent me a signal to be quiet. I'm going to do what she say because this wasn't my program. I didn't organize it because when I organized it, I give myself a better time to talk about what
And we thank God
I
for
should
you.
listen to.
We love you, Dr. Evans.
Yes, we love you, dog. We love you.
I want all of you to tell the heads of your families to register at
I didn't
NAFTA.world.
even know he saw it. I'm
Say that
doing
again,
this.
dog.
NAFTA.world. NAAFRA.world. And register the head of your family and tell
What's up,
us
Miss
how many
Pauline?
is in that family under that head.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
We
you.
thank God for that. And again, that's NAFA. And we need y'all to register. All right. NAFA.world. World.world. At this time, we heard Doc when he said he had to hold this flag, so we're going to go on and move forward. At this time, brother, if you will, hold it for the completion of the ceremony. General Order Number 3. We're going to read that by, I think, Etherine, or is Ether going to read? General Order Number 3 is what was read when they arrived in Galveston, Texas, and the slaves that was out in the cotton field working on the plantation for the master learned that day when General Order Number 3 was read, and it read as follows.
One of the General Granger's first orders of business was to read to the people of Texas General Order Number 3, which began most significantly with, the people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existed between them become that between employer and free laborer. The reaction to this profound news ranged from pure shock to immediate jubilation. While many lingered to learn of this new employer-to-employer relationship, many left before these offers were completely off the lips of their former masters, attesting to the varied conditions on the plantations and the realizations of freedom. Even with nowhere to go, many felt that leaving the plantation would be their first grasp of freedom. North was a logical destination, and for many, it represented true freedom. While the desire to reach family members in neighboring states drove some into Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, settling into these new areas as free men and women brought on new realities and the challenges of establishing a heretofore non-existent status for black people in America. Recounting the memories of that great day in June of 1865, and its festivities would serve as motivation as well as a relief from the growing pressures encountered in their new territory. The celebration of June 19th was coined Juneteenth and grew with more participating from descendants. The Juneteenth celebration was a time for reassuring each other, for praying, and for gathering for the remaining family members. Juneteenth continued to be highly revered in Texas decades later, with many former slaves and descendants making an annual pilgrim back to Galveston on this day. Juneteenth festivities and food. A range of activities were provided to entertain the masses, many of which we needed. This is the purpose of why we're here today, is to recognize the Juneteenth and to continue our freedom, being proud of what our ancestors have gone through to make us free, and we don't have to wait on the master. We don't have to do any of those things. So we all should be all that we can be because of what they did. And so we're having this festival. This is our 5th annual Juneteenth Festival,
Yes.
sponsored by the POP movement, which stands for Prosperity Over Poverty. We believe if we take the power of the people and connect it to the power of the penny, we can move hurting Americans from poverty over to prosperity. We are excited, and we thank each one of you all for coming today. We know we're dealing with COVID-19, but in spite of COVID-19, we must go on. And I'm so excited that you all are here and that we did what we're supposed to have done. Thank you.
And we also, thank you, sister, not to interrupt you. What we'd like to do is remind you all of another day. Mississippi was the last state to ratify. Mississippi was the last state to ratify itself from slavery.
Yes.
That day happened on February the 7th, 2013.
Yes.
Yes.
Mississippi was the last state to ratify women's right to vote. Fannie Lou Hamer, when she died, she was fighting for our right to vote without women's right to vote being ratified in the state of Mississippi.
Yes.
This year in August marked 100-year anniversary of women's right to vote.
Yes.
The state
Yes.
of Mississippi.
Yes.
It took them 148 years to ratify this state. Everyone was born in this state on February the 6th backwards was born in a slave state.
Yes.
Yes.
But on February the 7th, the state of Mississippi finally ratified it. With all things that are going on today in America, all things that we are facing, truly the black people and black pride and Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
We know today that everything pertaining to us, we need to celebrate.
Yes.
We need to embrace.
Yes.
We
Yes.
need to come together as one people
Yes.
united
Yes.
on the front of unity and love.
Yes.
Our responsibility to our children, to our sons, that they can go to school and come back home safe. They can go to the store and come back home safe.
Yes.
We have a responsibility to stand on the truth, to stand up for our children and tell the world that Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
We have the right to stand and say yes we can.
Yes.
Do anything if we stand together.
Yes.
400 years ago or more, they came to a place called Africa and put our people on board slave ships. We've been fighting for freedom, justice, and equality ever since.
Yes.
But I want to leave this much with you on today. Our freedom means everything. Any man walk without the freedom to live in this country and be treated as a decent human being, without the fear because of the color of his skin that he will be killed. It's a country that says we haven't done our job just yet. We still got work to do.
Yes.
We have people of all nationalities marching on every front.
Yes.
That says yes we can.
Yes, we
But I
can.
want to remind y'all that the reason why we're standing here today, a young man by the name of George Floyd, who was arrested because of counterfeit money. He laid down on the ground 8 minutes and 46 seconds. When the 46 seconds of his life began to slip away, he looked over yonder way and he called out mama. And that call for mama touched the heart of every woman that ever had a child. But what it did, God uses who he chooses and he chooses who he uses.
All right now.
What he did, he said, Lord, my son, your life won't be in vain. He said, now from the inception of your mama womb, I had something in store for you. And now, my son, I'm going to call you home, but your last breath going to turn this world upside down. I want you to know when he said, mama, that's all we needed for the mothers of the world to hear. And then when my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, it was a need that we needed to be on. God will take the thing that the enemy meant for evil and God will flip it around for our good. I want you to know that young man's life put me in the mind of another young man. The Bible says, I know you're glad right now, Mary, because you rocked him in the cradle as a little bitty baby. But one day his death gonna pierce your heart. When the time came, he said, Father, if you need somebody to go to bond for man, he said, Father, I'll go. Mary shed a tear for her baby. And I know George mama was standing in yonder way, and somewhere between life and death, she reached out and said, son, come on. It's all over now. God gonna change this thing. God, he gonna use your life to make it all right for who you are. He's gonna use your life to make the nation know that I'm still God and I sit on the throne. I can bring people together that no other source can bring. I want you to know today that George Floyd's life wasn't in vain and Black Lives Matter. If you're afraid to say it today, look in the mirror and check yourself. Don't be a sellout.
Come on now.
Keep the movement alive. Let everybody know that you care about the black sons and the black daughters of this world. Ain't it time for you to pick up some black pride? Ain't it time for you to stand up and say,
Yes.
Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
Black Lives Matter. We're going to keep fighting
Yes.
until every human being recognize the worth of a black man and a
Yes.
black woman.
Yes.
And we also standing here today, all of the black cities in the country is recognizing Juneteenth now. And we also standing saying that black towns matter. Let's hear it.
Yes.
Black
towns matter. Yes.
Black towns matter.
Yes.
Black
Towns matter.
Yes.
The historical
Mount Bayou, Mississippi.
Yes.
And all black towns.
Yes.
Built from the ground
Yes.
up.
Woo!
Oh, when Montgomery came
Yes.
down and saw it
Yes.
was standing between two mounds, talking
Yes.
about Indian mounds.
Yes.
He said, I'm going to pitch my tent right here.
Right here.
Oh, and when he
Yes.
pitched his tent in Mount Bayou, he decided, well, I don't need no outside interference.
Yes.
See, the power of a black man scare a whole lot of men.
Yes.
He can take a earth that
Come on now.
don't seem like it's worth growing nothing. He put the seed in it, and from the ground germinate a tree. Look at Mount Bayou.
Look at us.
Look at
Yes.
Mount Bayou where we be.
Yes.
Oh, Mount
Yes.
Bayou, Mount Bayou.
Beauty.
All black town.
All black towns.
All in the still.
And it's getting ready to grow.
Come on,
Beyond boundaries. It's getting ready to grow. So
Speak
Mount
it.
Bayou
Speak
belongs to every black person in this country. That is the purpose of it being built. So there will be a safe haven that we have somewhere that say we own. So regardless of where you live, you are part of Mount Bayou. And that's what we're trying to reach out to everybody so that we can bring it back to the jewel of the Delta.
Yes. The jewel of the Delta.
Black town matter.
Yes.
Black town
Yes.
man.
Yes.
This time we're going to
Yes.
ask someone to give us the closing prayer.
Oh, Jesus, let us bow our heads.
Yes.
Oh, this is awesome, people.
Yes, it is.
Heavenly Father, today I come to you with so much thankfulness
Yes.
and thanksgiving in my heart.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just want to thank you for creating black people.
Yes.
You are the creator,
Yes.
and we know that you did it, Lord. Heavenly Father, I just ask that you will open up our minds and our hearts and let us receive our history. Let us embrace our history.
Yes.
Let us love one another. Let us love each other, black people.
Yes.
Because our lives do matter.
Yes.
Our black towns matter.
Yes.
So we have to come together, Lord, in happiness, in
Yes.
love,
Yes.
in unity,
Yes.
togetherness. Heavenly Father, I just ask that you would touch our hearts right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Build us up, Lord, where
Yes.
we're weak.
Yes.
Build us up, Lord. Give us a mind to want to live and love
Yes. Yes.
and help one another
Yes.
along this way.
Yes.
This I ask in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Awesome. This ends our ceremony. We can now get ready to go in and do some eating and listening to some back music from old times and just
Yeah,
rejoice
that's what they get
in
from
the
my part.
festivity
The
and
eating
food. We
part.
put this together real quickly because we wasn't going to have it.
Anyway,
But the Spirit say,
we're here at
"No,
Mount Bayou.
have it." And we're here and we're going to have our
Juneteenth
festival.
celebration.
We're gonna enjoy each other, meet each other.
Sorry for the
introduce each
difficulties,
other,
the technical
and we're gonna move
difficulties.
forward, 'cause there's so much
But,
yet to come.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Hey, look good. Yeah. So we're here. If you're still here with us, we're just out here practicing social distance. How you doing, Sandra? Everybody? Ashley, what's up? Miss Rogers? Everybody who was here. Ken, what's up? What's up, Bookie? What's up, John, Lydia? Gail, everybody, Mildred. There's so much about Juneteenth that people don't know. They just gave you a glimpse in the synopsis. You know, everybody they don't think about that the people who were actually freed didn't have any sense of direction because they had been oppressed from the womb until whatever age that their freedom found them. And so freedom was a new garment that was put on them, that was forced upon them. And so it's one of the things that people don't really realize is that you know, that slavery just suddenly ended, and a lot of people were afraid to be alone. You know, they didn't know how that they were going to survive on their own. Some who had families banded together, and like she said, went to Arkansas, California, you know, Chicago, up north, and everywhere they migrated. A lot of them stayed. You know, a lot of them stayed in Louisiana. A lot of them left, you know, and went to Oklahoma, you know, throughout this. And so it was just a whole newfound thing, man. It wasn't like we had telephones or cars or emails and all the amenities that we have, the technology that we have today. So people never put themselves in the mindset of a newly freed slave who had been conditioned to be submissive to his oppressor, you know, from the time he was born all the way up until, you know, the time freedom came in 1867, be it later or not. You know what I mean? There were some who had been freed in 1863 who were still not free, like in Mississippi, the state that I'm standing in now. There were still a lot of people who were still on the plantation, sharecropping and shotgun houses, and still working for what they call sharecropping. You know, you work on half. You feed your family, you take half and feed your family. Same way, you know, you pick half for the plantation owner and you keep half for your family, and you get paid. But we took the scraps of the table, man, and made soul food. You know, we took the things that they didn't want and made it a delicacy. Now they travel country to country and state to state just to taste our food. Gumbo, pig feet, hog maws, and all the other things, you know, the barbecue ribs and stuff that came about from our oppression. The things that take the soul food that Medea used to make, the homecoming, you know, so gracious. The recipes that's been passed down from generation to generation. You know what I mean? The lemon meringue pies and everything. The hog head south. The people come down and get. The people come down and get when they come home to Mississippi, Alabama, and just the South. Period. So we took everything out of oppression, man, and we found some kind of joy in it, and we reconstructed our lives based upon the newfound freedom that we had. You know, the same way a lot of people still forget that we have 60% or 70%, 68 to 70% of the incarcerated population that are still incarcerated. I have to always remind people that there are a lot of people, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, mamas, that are still incarcerated. We can't forget about that. That's one of the things I think that we ought to incorporate into every Juneteenth celebration. I'm just out here in the country, man, walking on some of the grounds that I used to walk on as a kid, you know, at the Retcon over here, coming out here snake shooting during these times, during the breeding season of everything, you know. But like I said, just staying on the topic of Juneteenth, I'm gonna go in and let y'all listen to some of these down home blues or whatever. But I just wanted to show you that this is something that they do down here in Mississippi. They have been doing it for the last 5 years here. You know, since I've been gone, I was invited to attend. You know, I was invited to speak, but I declined today. You know, so just I wanted to watch and just see how, you know, they conducted their ceremony and everything, and how they were going to orate our history, you know. So one of the things that also I want to remind people that, you know, Mississippi was the last state to ratify to remove slavery off their books. I think it was February 7th, 2013. You know, they took interracial marriage off the books before they took slavery off the books. And they still didn't want to. They, you know, the first thing they asked was sort of like the Confederate flag. What harm would it be if it stayed on the books? What harm would it be? And you think about that. You so uppity and high class that you want to know what harm would it be. That means that every child, technically, if they wanted to get technical in court, every child born before February 7, 2013 would be considered a slave. And that's just the technique. It's like you find out that you don't own the land that you live on now if you own your own home. That no, this land don't belong to you. This land belongs to the Jews or the Native Americans. But you've been living a lie for all your life. So all the people who have been before 2013 just got freed. So are we going just got freed in 2013 if you were born in the state of Mississippi, at any hospital in the state of Mississippi. And I'm sure that the Secretary of State and a lot of people knew that. Caught a lot of trout and bass right here at this lake right here. Big bass, big crappies right here on this land right here. It's also a painful spot for me because right across here in 1990, right across the opposite side, my sister drowned in 1990. You know, my sister Betty, so I just always come out. It's my first time coming out here since then, so I wanted to walk out and just look at the spot to see. I was in college in Chicago at Malcolm X Junior College. You know, when we got the call that she had drowned out here on the other side. I came out once just to see the spot, but if you can see on the banks on the other side, straight across from here, where I'm pointing, is where she drowned. So I just come across to share that moment of silence, you know, for my sister and everything, you know. Yeah, so it's a lot of history here for me and for my family. That's why they don't let people, if you see, they don't let people drive around anymore. They don't let people, you see the stop sign, they don't let people drive around anymore. So that's one of the things that, but as I was saying, it's Juneteenth, the day after. I think we should celebrate Juneteenth all the way to the 4th of July. Because that's not our Independence Day. That's a day where slave owners was fighting the British to obtain their freedom. The so-called taxation without representation before the framers of the Constitution who owned slaves. Blacks fought in that war too, but they don't want to tell you about it. They just want to tell you about the lonely Christmas addicts. They want to tell you about the other blacks who fought, free blacks who fought in the American Revolution for America for what was then called the Republic to gain their freedom. They wanted the United States of America, but there was no America then. The 13 colonies. So, this history, man, history is just so tricky. People want to take it and twist it, but one thing that history has kept, it has kept our oppressors in power. And it has kept us running around in the dark, chasing a job instead of preparing for entrepreneurship. That's one of the things that history hasn't taught us. History hasn't taught us to create and build our own wealth. We spend billions and billions of dollars a year, but we don't have our own black bank. There's no reason that this town shouldn't have their own black bank, like Charles Banks had, you know, back then. There's no reason, period. You know. So I'm gonna go into this live. Yeah. What's up, Coach? How you doing? What we gonna do with the park, Coach? What we gonna do with the park? I gotta get with you on it, man. We're gonna try to get some fun so we can yeah.
I don't know if we're not gonna be able to hold up.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're here. We get a little bit close to this music. This is the music that we grew up to, the music I grew up to. So ask me, it's just one of the things, man. I thank you guys for sharing it with me. See my Juneteenth mask, I'm inside, so I'm going to adorn my mask, and I'm gonna cut you loose, man. I'm gonna do something the devil won't do. I'm gonna cut you loose. Take care. God bless you. Thank you for sharing.